Stop recording. Sorry. I'm gonna edit this anyway. I
Yeah.
forgot how to do this. Am I recording?
Yes.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
Cool.
So me.
What the hell are you doing?
Oh gosh.
What the hell are you doing?
Somebody has to save our skins. Into the garbage, you fly boy.
There's something alive in here.
Look, did you see that? What?
Hello.
Hi.
We're still recording, right?
Yeah.
Is this thing on? Hi guys. Welcome back
Hey.
to the Garbage Chute. My name's Silver.
I'm Riley. Hey. Hi. Hello.
Hello. What's up, fam? Welcome back. We're inside the trash compactor where we like to be. We're happy to be back. We're happy to be back with each and every one of you. Riley, it's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you too. I'm so glad we've got so much to talk about.
We got so much to talk about because the Bad Batch is here, and you have a bunch of bad bitches talking about the Bad Batch. That's right, Bad Batch is back, and boy, have you don't realize how much you miss something until it's gone for a while, and then it comes back, and it just pulls at all the heartstrings.
It's like seeing an old friend and then noticing they're slightly different, but in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. Get what you mean. Yes, that's how I feel too. Riley, the Bad Batch premiered earlier this week, and we got 3 new episodes of Star Wars. The brand new, more Star Wars is heading down our way. We're in until May. Bad Batch all the way up until May, which is insane. We're not complaining because that's new Star Wars for us every week, and we love new Star Wars. And when there's new Star Wars, your girls love to talk about it. So you guys are going to get a bunch of more of Into the Garbage Chute. So that's going to be really exciting.
And you know what's crazy? We have Bad Batch up until May, and then The Acolyte comes out supposedly on June 5th.
Yeah, that's insane.
We're eating. We're eating good.
Oh, we're eating. And then in the middle of all that craziness, it's the 25 years of the Phantom Menace.
Oh man.
It's a lot of good stuff coming, and we're stoked over here.
Yeah. This is going to be a really good year for not only Star Wars but Star Wars podcasting.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to be really excited to dive in and talk about that and just celebrate just how cool Star Wars is. We have not I mean, it was announced. I mean, I'm going to kind of go off subject of the Bad Batch, but I do want to talk about the Phantom Menace heading back to theaters on May 3rd. For its 25-year anniversary, and I know some of you have checked on me and asked how I'm feeling about it, and I'm just going to say right now that I'm over the moon. I am super excited. I cannot wait to experience that movie in theaters again, and I'm so excited for fans who've never experienced that movie in theaters to get the opportunity to do it. And it's just going to be a really fun time. Return of the Jedi was in theaters last year, and I've never seen that movie in theaters until it's re-released, and it was the greatest experience. And I know there's Star Wars fans who missed the opportunity to watch it in theaters, and they get to do it. And this time around, and Star Wars just belongs in a movie theater, y'all. Yeah. And keep bringing on these re-releases because us Star Wars fans we'll head over.
Yeah. Even if they just I know they wouldn't do this, but if they didn't even re-release things for an anniversary, they just are like, you know what? More money sounds pretty nice right now. It would be like sold out shows.
There's this movie theater by my house that they closed down, but it's such a landmark that they haven't knocked it down yet. It's like one of those big those dome theaters. I don't know what they plan on doing with it, but they did knock out the other domes. It was like 4 dome theaters kind of on the same street. They knocked out like 3 of them, but they only kept 1. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. I always like if I had the money, I would reopen that theater and just play old Star Wars movies or just like old movies in general. Like, and I'm
Mhm.
not just talking about super old movies. I mean, those are great too. I'm talking about like even movies that were released 10 years ago. I would just have like a nice, like, just a little throwback, movie
Mhm.
theater. But again, my
Yeah.
dream, I would just have a Star Wars movie theater and just play old Star Wars movie theaters. Like, what if I just want to get up one day and watch, I don't know, Attack of the Clones on a matinee and
Mhm.
on the big screen I can, or, let's just go and watch A New Hope, or, why not?
Mhm. I mean, there's hope that it will reopen as a theater because in LA this week, like a group of very famous filmmakers all like pooled together to buy like a historic theater to save it from getting turned into something else. So I mean, anything's possible.
I need to call those directors up and be like, yay, look, you guys need to like
Yeah.
come open up this one, use your guys' power.
Yeah. I
And do
need you
that.
guys to start getting a conglomerate of different old theaters under your
Yeah.
belts.
I have a really, and also this theater that I'm talking about, I saw Attack of the Clones there.
Really?
And I saw the Revenge of the Sith, its midnight premiere at that same theater too. So it's like heartbreaking that
Oh.
it's no longer there. But it was really a little fun fact about that theater also. It had one of the digital cameras that when Attack of the Clones came out, it was only a select theaters until like they were saying, hey, please, you need to have, because they were showing it digitally.
Mhm.
That theater was like the one in the Bay Area that was doing it. I wasn't the one, there was other ones, but
Yeah.
super cool, really good memories. Would have loved to to
That's really
revisit, but
cool.
hey, honestly, yeah, again, just Star Wars in general on a big screen is just always a fun time.
Mhm.
So yeah, uh Phantom Menace 25-year anniversary. Can't wait. Making plans already.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a good time.
This will be my first time seeing it in a theater.
I know, and I'm excited for you.
Mhm.
That's
I'm really
awesome.
stoked because I
I
was,
think
like, 1.5 when it came
yeah.
out.
I know, and a lot of fans who just absolutely adore these movies, like they, yeah, like it's so cool that everyone can have the opportunity to check it out in theaters.
Mhm.
Again, I had just had this religious experience when I saw Return of the Jedi in theaters, and Return of the Jedi is one of my favorite movies, and I've never. It's crazy how you love something so much and didn't have the opportunity to see it, but I saw that Return of the Jedi last year and it was in theaters. I saw it seven times. I saw it once,
Really?
yeah, once a week, the entire week. It was just like, I just had to just like get that experience in.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so
That's like when I went and saw Top Gun: Maverick.
oh, 100% for you, Riley. Yes.
I'm not saying, like, I don't love Star Wars, like, obviously, I love
No,
Star Wars as much,
of
but, like,
course. No.
when
Yeah.
that movie came out, you knew where I was
Yeah. You
multiple
were
times.
probably watching. Where's Riley watching Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah, let me tell you, hearing I Ain't Worried by One Republic for the first time was a cinematic
That's
experience. I was
awesome.
like, "Oh, what is this?
Yeah,
This is immaculate."
for
So I
sure.
feel like it's like that same vibe of like, "Oh, I am levitating."
Yeah. Honestly, that's how I felt like with La La Land. I saw La La Land like 8 times when it came out in theaters.
Yes,
It was
so
just
good.
like I've never seen anything like it. I was like, "Wow, this is so much fun."
Mhm,
I watched it like I mean, just so many times. It's just cool. I mean, just that's the movie going experience. You see
mhm,
something, you get hooked, and it's just like, oh man, I want to watch it again, but it's only playing in theaters. I gotta go
mhm.
again. It's almost just like you can't, you know, and it's fun. Who
Yeah,
doesn't like sitting down at a movie theater?
exactly. I'm stoked to go see the first time we ever see Padme in the entire Skywalker saga on the
Dude.
big screen.
And then
My
with
queen.
Duel of the Fates,
Oh,
the pod race scene,
that with
everything's gonna be
surround sound.
it's just gonna be fun. And I honestly like
Mhm.
I can't wait. And yeah, it's gonna be cool. You know what I really loved about Return of the Jedi in theaters was watching it And I think the first time I went, there was like a lot of like big Star Wars fans that went. I feel like that's, I feel like that's kind of like an event that people will show up. And I think they were giving out posters at the theater I went to. But
Mhm.
at the end, with all the when Anakin comes up as a Force ghost, everyone cheered in my theater. It was really cool. It was just really cool.
That sounds great.
I get goosebumps. Like I just love having that experience with other people. And it's
It's
crazy.
like
It's just like a room full of strangers, but you're just all feeling the same thing. It's a really like powerful thing.
mhm.
Hell
It's like
yeah.
those videos, like when you see people's reactions to like Infinity War, and it's
Yes.
like the room full of people like
I cry.
reacting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too. I cry at that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Goosebumps. But
Mhm.
hey, you know what? We weren't together when we saw the Bad Batch, but I gotta ask, because we're talking about the Bad Batch, the premiere, first 3 episodes. They gave us 3 episodes to start with.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just kind of go, we'll go down, we'll kind of touch on each episode, but just your reaction after you watched, I mean, the first 3 episodes, like what were you feeling overall?
I like I said earlier, it's like seeing an old friend, but they're different in a good way. You could definitely tell right off the bat that this season is going to be very different. Obviously, because it's the last season, but it's just already going to be very different from the first 2 seasons. I don't anticipate any episode will be wasted. Um, no filler episodes, as people say. The vibe was just dark, but like in a good way. The vibe was just dark. I really enjoyed it. What did you think?
Yeah, no, I really had a great time. I was really fortunate enough to go to Lucasfilm. They had a fan screening.
Mhm.
So I saw the first 3 episodes on Tuesday night. Um, and yeah, I always think like, okay, like we were just talking about like the experience, seeing it with other people, and sometimes I
Mhm.
feel like that sometimes may cloud how I'm feeling because you're just really feeding off like the excitement and other people's energy.
Mhm.
Um and I mean my I was just everything was just like my everything was just heightened, like my feelings, like, how emotional I got, everything.
Mhm.
And of course like going to an event like that's just so special, just being around like other fans and just the excitement. So I was a baby, I cried, stressed, all the feels.
Oh yeah.
Um and then it was cool because I took my sister with me. My sister on the
Mhm.
way over there on the 40-minute drive to San Francisco was just breaking down Bad Batch to her. She's kind of like, what is this? I don't even know where I'm going to, but sure, why not?
Mhm.
It was really cool having, her reaction because she was just like stressed out like me. Like she was almost like in like my position, just like stressed out, worried about like, the characters and stuff. But
Mhm.
um I saw it again the next day, just to kind of be like, okay, like, sometimes I feel like I miss stuff, like my first viewing, and again, just not being in my own home and like focused on the story and what was going on. I always feel like I missed a few things.
Mhm.
I just think that wow, we are just in for a very, very special ride. I just feel like the show is just so underrated. Like just people just are sleeping on something so
Yeah.
special.
Mhm.
Um, just I mean, I like you. I just feel like we are just in for something. Like it's just I'm dreading it. I'm excited at the same time.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel the weight of it, and I feel like the Lucasfilm animation team, the writing, the music, it's just not like holding any punches. Like they are just firing on all cylinders, and I feel it.
Mhm.
It's like Clone Wars season 7. Like you
Yeah.
just like you get that. You're just like, oh man, like we're in for a treat. I feel like no moment is wasted.
Mhm.
And I so far I'm enjoying the pacing. But yeah, I'm just having a great time, and I'm super stressed and anxious. But
Yeah.
I love being tortured like this. I think it's the best type of torture to be
Mhm.
put in this position. I'm worried, I'm scared for each and every one here. Now there's a damn dog that I have to worry about.
Oh my god, the space dog. I'm obsessed.
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 We're you know, we're pet people, we're pet
Yeah.
moms. We're dog
Mhm.
moms, we know. But yeah, it's whoo,
As
you
soon
got
as
me.
as soon as we saw our little space dog friend, I was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to have a dog this season. Like that's going to be like a character that sticks around, this dog."
Yeah, for sure.
But when you had mentioned that like you had compared it to starting to watch like season 7 of the Clone Wars, that's like the beginning, the first 3 episodes had the same vibe as like the final couple of episodes of the Clone Wars
The
season
last
7 for
arc.
me.
Yeah, the last
Yes.
arc, yeah.
Because
Mhm.
like you sat down and just automatically, because if I remember correctly, the last few episodes of season 7 of the Clone Wars, it had a completely different
Yeah,
like
everything.
beginning.
Yeah.
It was like
The
traditional
title
like
card.
Star Wars title
The title
card.
card was different. Even the animation looked better.
Yes.
like
But like just sitting down
crisp.
for the first, yes, very crispy, very
Mm,
crispy. And just sitting down for like the first the first 3 episodes
very
of this
crispy.
season. Yeah. Crispy like Anakin on Mustafar, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh, see, yeah, you're thinking about Anakin on Mustafar. I'm so hungry. I'm thinking about like chicken nuggets or like a good pizza crust. Very crispy.
Oh man. True. True.
Just where our mindsets are at. Yeah.
But like it had just like the same vibe of like when you sat down for the last arc of the Clone Wars and it was automatically like, all right, we're in a dark place right now. That's kind of the
Mhm.
same vibe I got for the Bad Batch this season, which is very different from the first 2 seasons. Everything's usually like light and fun.
Yeah.
Especially compared to the first episode of last season, we were running from crabs
Mhm.
on a beach. And now we're just
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, we are in
Yeah.
prison that you're not a prisoner here. Girl,
Mhm.
Miss
Yeah.
Emery, I need you to stop lying.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I get yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I mean, the first episode, Confined, that's kind of what that's the title. Yeah, I mean, it starts off, I mean, we left on a pretty heavy note last season. But we're checking in with our characters and Confined. Yeah, it's Omega and Crosshair who are just confined in this on away on Mount Tantus, and it's just not a very fun place to be at. Again, you it's a very I feel like this episode's very intimate.
Mhm.
As far as like it's more like the day in the life of like what's going on in Omega, and it I don't know. I think Omega for me has just been a character that I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just really she's a standout for me so far in these
Mhm.
first 3 episodes because
Mhm.
I think, yeah, I don't know. I just a lot of just everything that's been going on. I felt like a lot of like every time we were with Omega, I was just really, really captivated by it.
Yeah,
Um,
because
but
she's
yes,
by herself as
yeah,
compared to like with everyone else. So it's like we
yes,
actually get to focus on her.
on her and what she's feeling, and
Mhm.
just that thing, just trying to be so hopeful. But yeah, yeah, it's pretty much just Omega. This episode 1 confined, it's just pretty much Omega and Crosshair. That's kind of like the heart of the entire episode, which for us, I mean, it's a good place to be in because one, you know, this is her chance for her and Crosshair to kind of have this relationship that we again they never had the opportunity to have one. We
Mhm.
see her have one with all her other brothers, with Hunter, with Wrecker, with Echo, with Tech, R.I.P. or maybe,
Mhm.
and we now we get this opportunity to have Omega and Crosshair, and again, I feel like every scene that they're in together, it's not wasted. I think just everything when every time they're communicating, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is just really good stuff. The writing, everything, the performances, my gosh, like I just can't get enough of it. But it's again, it's a chance for her to bond with Crosshair in this very just dreaded place.
Mhm.
They're held captive against their will. There's blood being taken out of them who knows what they're, I mean, we see what's going on with Omega. We don't know what's going on with the Crosshair the other times, you know, like
Mhm.
she just has this life of just like, yeah, she's a prisoner. It's just the same schedule every day against her will. You know, we're seeing that they're sampling blood from, you know, the clones. They're sampling blood from her. Um, and it's just not a fun place to be in. But I'll tell you that makes the situation even more scary is the doctor
Hemlock.
Hemlock is terrifying. He scares the hell out of me. I don't know how he, like, just like his everything.
Yeah.
I
That is a sick and twisted man. Like
It's
you can just
very,
tell.
yeah, very scary. So I feel like, my gosh, like this is just a very scary place to be. But yeah, so I mean, it continues to be scary. Just honestly, it's just, I think, just a very standout Star Wars villain that we've had recently.
Mhm.
Who is, I think, very memorable, but just there's something really just fucking creepy
Yeah.
about
And,
him.
like, I can touch on this when we get into, like, the 3rd episode, but, like, there were points where he would make and it would focus on his facial expression to,
Oh
like,
my
in
gosh.
reaction to things, and when you're just kinda like, obviously, like, he's bad, but, like, there's just not only is he bad, but there's just something not right with him,
Yeah.
and more of like, "Oh, he's a bad guy" way, but, like, there's just something like, something's not clicking together up in his noggin, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's very, yeah, I don't know. I just get so like creeped out,
Yeah.
and like he's just so sinister, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's scary. He scares me.
I wrote in my
Um
notes that he has a very punchable face.
no, 100%. He does have a fucking punchable face. Every time I see him, I'm like, dude, this jerk. Like, I just don't, yeah, yeah. That's a good villain when you're just like, I just don't
Mhm.
like you.
I couldn't
Um,
remember his name when I first saw him, and so, like, my note initially said, "This MF has a very punchable face."
MF for sure. Yep,
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
and yeah, he definitely is.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Mhm.
I am not a fan. Um Omega is, you know, we see Omega kind of having like these chores or just kind of like these duties. Oh, obviously she's working alongside, we were introduced to, I guess, her sister, Emery. Is that her name?
Mhm.
Emery, right? Emery, who is also working, you know, they're all scientists working, and she has her like workly duties with Nala Se, who the whole thing was like, okay, no, Nala Se's agreement was like, I will help, but you got to keep this one safe.
She's such a real one.
Yes, Nala Se is, I'm a little scared for Nala Se, but we'll get into that
Mhm.
later.
Mhm.
But yeah, so yeah, so what do you think of Emery, the sister, the other clone that's working alongside Hemlock?
Yes, there are a couple thoughts I have about her.
Mhm.
First of all, obviously, just from what we saw at the end of last season and then, of course, these 3 episodes, she's very cold, very, like, clinical. Obviously, she's a doctor, which, first of all, how come every other clone is referred to by their CT number and her name is Emery and Hemlock calls her Dr. Carr? Why does she have a name? Why does she have a first and last name?
Yeah, the last name is so confusing to me.
Oh, I'm sure all of this who knows honestly if it's ever going to be answered. We know how Star Wars is, but why? Like obviously Omega is referred to as Omega because she never got a CT number, I'm pretty sure. But Dr. Carr,
Yeah.
she has an entire full name, Emery Carr. Dr. Emery Carr at that. Who sent her to doctorate school?
Yeah.
But my other thought of her was she had mentioned that because Omega was like, "How come I've never seen you before?"
Mhm.
And Emery was just like, "Well, because I was sent elsewhere." And she's like, "Okay, to do what? What were you doing before this?
Mhm.
I need to know more." I'm sure we will find out her backstory because it's kind of like oh, we're learning more about her, and she's kind of softening up toward Omega, like as we go on. But like even through the episode, she's like very cold at first, but is slowly kind of like, all right.
Yeah, she's warming up to Omega. And Omega obviously sees the good in all her siblings.
Right.
But which and I feel like that's a little bit more, that's to me is very interesting because it's just like, oh, okay, like you feel like, Emery was probably eventually going to help her break out and stuff. But I mean, she spends a lot of time with her, and that's the thing about Omega. She's always seeing like the good in people, even though they're just like clearly this Emery car is taking blood samples from clones, and her Omega herself gets her blood drawn. And yeah, so Emery is very shady, a shady bitch, just like the freaking Sid.
So true.
Just
God.
shady.
Shady.
No, but Emery's very vague in her answers. But yeah, she does something nice and does redeem herself at the end. But she says that Hemlock took her under her wing, which is kind of like, okay, that's always like it's like when a prison, someone, it's just like gets kidnapped and they're just more like, oh, they start seeing like their capture.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yes. Just like, oh, or just like completely brainwashed. Like, oh, Hemlock took me under my wing. And it's like, have you seen Hemlock's face? He's a freaking he's not a good person.
Do you think he gave her a name so he would actually see her as a person?
Probably.
Since he doesn't see clones as people.
He probably doesn't see, yeah, because he doesn't. But throughout the day, like Omega witnesses Emery taking blood samples, and then she gets her blood drawn also. But Omega then interacts with Nala Se, who's also in the lab, and Nala Se tosses out Omega's blood sample and wants Omega, like, you can't tell anybody that I'm doing this. So I mean, obviously the research is a little bit more dangerous than we all thought, but in connection to the Mandalorian, which is really like fun that we're getting all these little connective bits. Nala says that says the Empire wants to genetically clone M counts, which is midichlorian counts, which is what Dr. Pershing was doing with Grogu in season 1. Yeah. So it's really, really fun to kind of get like these little like, oh, we're getting like into like, getting this little like connective stuff, like M counts and stuff. And I always get like confused. I'm like, wait, are we in the same timeline? It's like, no, this is way before, Dr. Pershing was involved in stuff. But yeah, so Nala Se obviously has Omega's best interest at heart. But yeah, so what do you think of this whole like M count situation?
You know how I feel about the idea of like Omega being I don't think that she is, at least I hope not. Obviously they are looking for a midichlorian count in a specific clone. I just do not want her to be force sensitive. I know people are going to be like, well, why? I'm just like, because I want her to be her own special thing by herself.
Yeah. That's fair.
Not everything. The thing that doesn't make characters special doesn't always need to be the force. Does that make sense?
No, that absolutely does make sense. Because it's just like, when you think about people with that force, it's just like these, obviously we think about, very, like, we think about Jedi, we think about like, powerful force users who have like this capability to be tapped into something and, do incredible things. But also we have so many heroes in the Star Wars universe who don't really have a high M count, who are just as special. Like we think of like Jyn Erso, we think of so many other amazing characters who are just ordinary people.
Yeah.
And I totally get what you mean. It's kind of like, oh, it's just the Bean Ren conversation.
Yeah.
Again.
And it's like, exactly. Yes. And
it's the Bean Ren conversation that it was a lot of discourse on the internet, or, even just like, I think, just even I think you and I were both kind of in that same thing. It's like, well,
Yeah.
why does she need to kind of be a Jedi?
Mm-hmm. Which I
But
also think,
because we connect M count, having a high M count with being a Force user.
right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay, I feel like maybe Emperor Palpatine should have maybe like foreseen, oh, if we need high M count, maybe I shouldn't kill all of the Jedi. Huh. Maybe I should at least have one on the side, you know?
Doesn't
Just
he have
one.
one? Doesn't he have an apprentice that he can poke?
Surely. The highest midichlorian count they've ever seen? No,
Off the
surely
chart.
not.
But maybe like it was damaged, maybe because like he was so like,
Crispy.
I don't know, crispy. He was
Like
crispy like a
like a
pizza
pizza.
crust. Is
Yeah.
pizza supposed to be crispy?
I feel like
Just the crust.
thin
I was thinking,
crust.
I was thinking
Thin
about the
crust.
crust. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
good crispy. I like to enjoy a pizza, like the nice cheesy, perfect ratio of sauce and
Yes.
cheese. Like you can't if you
Yeah.
put too much
You can't
sauce,
mess
it's
it up.
gonna you can't mess it. It
It'll
needs to be a
ruin the
good
whole thing.
ratio. Yes, it
Yeah.
needs to be a good ratio. So I like that, like obviously like the soft part, the cheesy and the sauce part.
Yeah.
But at the end, you gotta like get, it's like a little nice little crisp at the end.
Yeah. Which is exactly what they're looking for, the right M count.
Exactly. Exactly.
But like also why? Why have they been like, you know what? You know who has M counts? Surely one of them has to. Clones. Surely one of them has to. They all have the same DNA. Surely one of them. What?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Like, obviously, yes, that was true, but like, come on.
yeah. I think, yeah, I don't know. I honestly like the whole science stuff just kind of like throws me off. And I'm
He's
just like,
just
and I'm
insane.
so glad that we have like channels like Star Wars Explained to like break things
Yeah.
down for me, or like New Rock Stars to break it down. Cause I'm just
Mhm.
like, so I just
Yeah.
heard M count. I was like, all right, I guess they're looking for midichlorians. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I took from it. But so as they're looking for someone with the M count,
Mhm.
Omega, is searching, and honestly found a new member of the Bad Batch, and it's Batcher, her her little dog.
Little space
Um,
dog.
so during Omega has this incredible, just way of just making new friends, like she does. But in the beginning of the episode, we see this big old beast that takes out these TK troopers in the beginning of the episode.
Mhm.
But as Omega is going throughout her day in confinement, she has part of her task. She has to go and feed this, I don't know, this hound, this puppy pound.
Mhm.
And and they're, so they control these hounds who go out into, because the way they're on the planet. And so anyways, really sad. I don't like seeing animals in confinement. Obviously don't like seeing little Omega either.
Mhm.
But Omega has a sweet connection with this hound that she's named Batcher. And Batcher is defective in a way where he's can't be tamed. She seems really violent. There's and so Omega kind of has a special connection with this little puppy. I keep calling it puppy, but that's what we're all going to call it.
Mhm.
And it's just really sad because when I think about Batcher, I think about Crosshair and just how they
Yes.
kind of like they're just parallel. They're just like, they're angry. They're, and Omega just seeing the good in Batcher and in Crosshair, and it just
Mhm.
continues to just try and provide hope for both Batcher and Crosshair. And Omega
Yeah.
just has these special moments. She sees Crosshair. That's part of her every day. She has like this little moment with Crosshair and like goes and visits him. She has this whole schedule down. It's incredible. Really
Yeah.
give it up to Omega because I can never keep a good schedule.
Itinerary queen. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So with Omega taking care of Batcher and Crosshair, trying to keep hopeful. Yeah, it's just a sweet thing. And there's a time jump in the episode because Omega has a little ponytail.
Yeah.
So she's
I
been in
literally
there
wrote
for a while.
I wrote in my notes, "Holy time jump, Batman."
Yeah, seriously.
I was
there's
not
a little-
expecting it. Her little tallies on the wall, and then suddenly it's like hella tallies, and she's
I
got a little
know
ponytail.
it's so sad. And it's just like, oh, just so sad. How long she's been in there. And even when they go read through her, she does her itinerary again and we're seeing it, and it's almost like she's just doing it by it's just, almost
Very
like
monotonous.
yeah, just going
Mhm.
about her day and which scared me a little bit. I just thought she was just losing hope. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I got nervous for a bit, but um she goes back and Batcher has an incident where Batcher got hurt throughout the night because I guess they send these hounds at night to go hunt this beast or who knows.
Mhm.
But Batcher is defective and is hurt and is and she's trying to help it. Obviously, the medical or the droid that's in that hound pound thing that says, I don't care.
Mhm.
She helps heals it, shows like shows like a side of compassion. And I think that really resonated with the dog Batcher. And yeah. And then the next day, Batcher's okay. But it is deemed defective because Omega is domesticating it. So it's scheduled for termination, which pissed me off.
Oh yeah, I got so pissed. I was like, "Are you?"
Yeah.
It was
But
like they
that's
were just trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, and again, it's just parallels to the clones, parallels to what's going on
Mhm.
there. It's like they don't care about life, they don't care about anything. They find it defective, they find it not useful, so we're going to terminate it because we're not going to use any of our resources to heal it.
Mhm.
Which again, it's just shows what's going on in that place, and if that does not make you want to get the hell out of there as soon as possible, then you know, whatever. Wait, did I just jump in the episode? I did. That was episode 3.
Was it?
Oh no. Never mind.
No. I don't
I'm
think so.
tripping. I'm good. I doubted myself. Fly friends, don't ever doubt yourself. Yeah, so Batcher, Omega frees Batcher, and this is what happens. You have 3 episodes. You're just like,
Yeah.
they're all
Everything
like,
kind of like
like blends in.
blends.
Yeah, whoops, totally doubted myself. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so Batcher is scheduled for termination. But Omega frees Batcher. And Batcher does not want to leave Omega, but Omega says, Batcher, you need to get out of here. It's not my time to go yet.
Mhm.
Hemlock and Emery arrive, and Hemlock creepily calls out
Ew.
Omega's like like telling Omega, like, wow, you didn't give it a chance. And she's like, absolutely, I did. I freed it. And it's
Yes.
like, no, because
Gaslight McGee. Oh my god.
yeah, because there is a beast out there and it was safer in here. And Omega says, you have no idea if that, you don't know if Batcher, if she will be okay or not. Everyone deserves to be free. And then, of course, Hemlock baits her and then, threatens to hurt Crosshair if she doesn't cooperate. And of course, that is a way to, get
Mhm.
Omega in check. And
And then doesn't he tell her something about her having a thing for like lost causes
yep.
in Batcher and Crosshair? That was so insane to say.
Yeah.
Like
And
obviously we know he's insane, but like are you for real?
yeah. So again, she goes back to her cell and Emery brings back the Lola, the little Hey Lola that she's been making that they took. But again, that just symbolizes just how hopeful little Omega is in this terrible situation. But
Before that time jump, when we saw that she had made a little straw Tuca doll,
mhm.
I did a little cry because it was so sad but so cute, and it
It
just
is.
it
It's
pulled
so
up my
sad and it's
heartstrings.
so cute. It's just
Mhm.
like it's just this Omega is just Omega's a kid still like,
Mhm.
holding on to hope and just makes her little doll and
Yeah.
we're just really sad and again, it's just a hopeful thing that she has and it's just that's what makes Omega so special. Um but Emery, they took it away. Emery brings it back. Um, you know, just says here you go. So that's again, there's a little hint of positive of Emery just hopefully,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah, warming
there's
up to her.
warming up to her. Yeah, stepping out of it. Um,
2
but
things just
yeah,
about this episode, 2 things that I really wanna touch on that I loved. So many commandos. I know they're not good guys right now, but
yeah.
oh, the commandos I love. Also, the beginning where the crash happens,
Mhm.
it very much reminded me of Ewok Hunt from Battlefront 2. You know what I mean? I was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah,
familiar. I'm traumatized."
yeah. Yeah, so many commandos. Did you play that game?
Yes.
Republic Commando? Yeah,
Yes.
that's cool.
And
I
they're
know a lot of
still clones.
yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Um,
They didn't replace them.
they did it, yeah. Yeah, super cool. Super cool to see too.
Mhm.
There are quite a bit
So
of them.
many.
Yeah, for sure.
That's like the
Um,
higher security of the entire place.
yeah.
It's almost like they should have never replaced the clones
Clones.
to begin with. Whoa, crazy.
Um, yeah, for sure. What a cool episode. A lot of people felt like this was slow, but I feel like this was just really, for me, it was really well paced.
Mhm.
Again, it just really Omega and Crosshair are the ones that are in trouble.
Mhm.
And just to kind of really get that check-in of where they're at, and obviously them kind of bonding. Um, well, against Crosshairs,
Yeah.
he's not there to bond, but
Yeah.
um the fact that she still sees him as a brother and thinks is just really like positive about like we're gonna get out of here together.
Mhm.
um and again, just like the scary terrible things that are going on
Yeah.
in there. I thought it was a really great episode and really a great way to open again, just check in where with Omega and Crosshair. But cried so much at the end. I think the final out of all 3 episodes, I think this one was just probably like my favorite.
Mhm.
Um, just because of just how just hopeful I felt, but also just
Mhm.
like so sad I felt at the
Sad.
end. When when Batcher like when Omega's looking out at the window,
Mhm.
confined still, and Batcher is like free, like howling.
Mhm.
Um, it just symbolizes Batcher's freedom. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I really like Omega needs to get out of here soon and
Yes.
Crosshair because there's just something that just like and the music is just like I'm about to cry thinking about it. The music is so done beautifully well.
In my notes, I have the Kiners popped off already. They always kill it, but, like,
I
the
know.
Kiners killed
This
it.
first episode, this last scene in particular, when Batcher's crying, like symbolizing that Batcher's free, and
Mhm.
everyone else is still trapped, is just so like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I seriously am about to cry thinking about it. So we need
Yes.
to move on.
Yes. Well, to touch back on to touch back on, like, Omega and Crosshair this episode, when she goes and visits him, and she's talking about escaping, and he's just kinda like, like, if I had the chance to escape, I would not think twice about leaving you here. And she's
Yeah,
like, "That's not true." And
yeah,
he's just like, "Listen, I'm not them." And she said,
yeah,
"You're my brother," or something. She's like, you're still my brother," or something like that. And he just like his face, and then you see his hands start shaking, which he's got that's a whole other thing. But like, and then he just like holds his hand to keep it from shaking and just doesn't say anything. And it's just kind of
yeah,
like, okay, We'll get you, Crosshair. Don't worry. It's all right.
I know. Again, a lot of their moments were so like I think just a lot of just really good moments that they had between the two
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah.
sure.
And I know a lot of people were saying that the episode was slow. I think, and a lot of people are going to be like, you're just making, I'm not making excuses. I think the quote unquote slowness of the episode was intentional to reflect how
Yeah.
monotonous Omega's time and
Yeah.
Crosshairs, obviously. It's the same thing every day. There's nothing else going on because they
Yeah.
can't do anything else.
Yeah.
That's the entire point of the episode.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I think it was very intentional for it to be
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Like I agree. And there was a lot of moments that like lingered on like I don't know, just a lot of like interesting shots that like a lot of like lingering on like just really
Mhm.
slow and like soft but like meaningful. Like I feel like it
Yeah.
was not I don't think any moment was wasted to be honest. There was not
No,
one part of this episode where like, I don't think we needed that. No, I
not at
just there was
all.
just everything I felt definitely. Again, this is just I think out of the three, it's definitely my favorite.
Mhm.
But let's head on to the next episode. The next episode is is Paths Unknown.
Mhm.
And we do a check-in with the rest of the batch, or at least some of the batch, and that is Hunter and Wrecker.
Mhm.
And we get a little surprise with the clone cadets. They make their return in a very heartbreaking episode.
Yeah.
Even though this you would say that this episode's a little bit lighter just because we're not in, in confinement. They're a little bit more
Mhm.
free on a planet, but their mission is to look for Omega.
Mhm.
They're just as like I mean, they're stressed out, they're worried, obviously. They're just like
Doing
um
mercenary work to get information.
yeah, they need to get information of finding where Omega's at. That's the mission right now. That's the entire
Mhm.
mission. Um, but Paths Unknown is I thought a great episode again. I
Mhm.
feel like it was a little bit more lighthearted because they're running
Mhm.
throughout a forest. There's creepy monsters, and it's just like, oh, a Bad Batch episode, right? This is kind of like but it's still just as
Mhm.
heartbreaking, just because of how like the cadets play into play.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so Hunter is antsy. He wants to on the Marauder, he wants to, get going and he doesn't want to wait. He does not want to wait for Echo and Rex, and he wants to just get in and
Mhm.
find Omega. But like you said, they're doing some work and they got getting some information about possibly where Omega could be.
Mhm.
But yeah, so what'd you think of the beginning the beginning scene? They're they they're working what is it like is it were they pikes? What were they? Were they working with
Um,
pikes?
no, they brought a pike
They brought a pike, right? Okay, yeah.
to these people. Are they Zygarians?
Yeah, I think so.
I might have that wrong.
Okay,
I'm so
it's a crime
sorry.
it's a son of a crime
It,
boss, right?
yeah, yeah, it's one of the crime families.
It's a
Um
Debranian?
s- I'm so sorry for everyone being like, how don't you know this? Listen, there's a lot
Nobody
going on here. There's a- there are so many things happening in this universe, all right? But yeah, they bring them a pike, which is kind of insane.
because the pike cut off the son's horn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And they're
thanks to
like,
the
you know what?
batch.
Here you
Yeah,
go.
so
Here's your
they talk
guy.
yeah, they talk to the Pikes into sparing Roland's life, who um Roland is the son. Okay, Roland, oh my gosh, is the son of a crime boss who tried to take Sid's parlor in season 1.
Yeah.
However, he crossed the Pikes, and thanks to the Bad Batch, they talked to the Pikes into sparing Roland's life. So there's a big yeah. So that's their the IOU.
Yeah.
Um,
And I feel like that's kind of also why he was like, I hope you find what you're looking for when he gave them the information.
mhm.
Or he didn't seem like hostile or anything. He actually seemed sympathetic to their cause.
Yeah,
He's like, I really hope you find what you're looking for. and not at all like kind of cold or like get out of my face like his queen mother was talking about. Jesus.
Yeah. Uh, the Hunter and Wrecker bring in a pike, and they're the one. It's the one who cut off Roland's horn in season 1. So in exchange, they want them to give them intel where Dr. Hemlock could be and who has Omega. So they give them coordinates. But Hunter is antsy to get there. But Wrecker, who I think is having some crazy character development, says, let's not be too hasty.
That's crazy.
And that's not like Wrecker. And
no.
Wrecker kind of doesn't mention Tech, but does mention that, hey, we already lost people. So maybe we shouldn't go in without any backup. Which is again it's not really a Wrecker like, but
losing
he's right.
Tech kind of traumatized him into thinking straight.
I think so too. It's like we have to kind of really think about what we're doing here. We're outnumbered. But yeah, so they go to this unknown planet. It's like jungle type feel. Like it's a very it's a jungle type planet. They look at this old lab, which is completely just like gone. Looks like there's, it's just been there for a while, and next thing you know, they're surrounded by boys and they're little cadets. They're little clone cadets. Little Daniel Logans are running around.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, and I guess they were taken off Camino before it shut down. So the boys just hang out at that little planet, which is nuts.
Yeah. Seeing them was jarring at first because it's like, who are these children? And it's kind of like, oh.
Yeah, the little
What are you doing here?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Why are you in the woods?
Yeah, and it's so crazy because it's just like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about what would happen like to the cadets too, because that's a whole other thing. Those are little cadets, little kids,
right?
And look how they're living. Poor things. Like, man, gosh.
Like, even there was a line that they say in this episode, it's just like, yeah, we're soldiers, and then they stop and they're like, well, at least we were supposed to be. And I was like,
I know, it's just really sad. Yeah, so
God.
the boys fill in Hunter and Wrecker about a little bit on them they were being experimented on. So again, Wrecker being Wrecker accidentally touches a vine that turns into some freaking creature. Dude, I hate jungle planets in Star Wars. It's just not my thing.
No.
I would die.
I also love
slither vines or something.
Yes, I love how when he was just like, "Oh, they're the defective clones," and Wrecker's like, "Defective but effective." And I was like,
100%.
So
true. Yeah, my mom says that about me. I think sometimes.
I literally cackled when he said that. I was like, "Oh, that's great. I love that."
That's
I
so
need
funny.
that on merch like yesterday.
No, yeah, no, for sure. That's definitely going to be on merch. Yeah, so there's like some slither vine, which is so disgusting and gross. I can't handle it.
Yeah. It's like very Evil Dead, if you've seen Evil Dead. Yeah.
So they head to another clone cadet whose name is Mox. And they get more story about Hemlock. So we find out that Hemlock, the clone troopers left all the cadets to die because they were following orders. And these are the cadets that were the only survivors, which is really depressing to think about. Yeah. So the cadets say that they were intact control panel that survived the destruction of the lab. So it has no power and it's covered in that disgusting slither vine. It's a suicide mission, but they think that they can go retrieve it. So yeah. So what did you think about this whole so far? We see, just the cadets, like, besides like being jarring, like, is that something you ever thought about before? Like, oh my gosh, like what happened to them? It's like
in like a weird way, it just like the whole vibe of just like these kids left to fend for themselves on a planet by themselves in the middle of the jungle. It was giving very this might be a niche reference for the people that aren't made to read this in school anymore. Very Lord of the Flies. You know what I mean? Just kind
Yeah.
of like they're on their own. Who knows what'll happen? It's just kind of like, and I feel bad for not thinking, oh, hey, there were kids. What happened to the kids? But like, we see what happened to the kids, and it wasn't much better. In
Yeah.
fact, it may have been worse because they are still alive having to deal with whatever and be experimented on, which is insane.
Yeah. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these kids obviously been through a lot. They're just like, at this point, they're just like, we're just trying to survive. So they come across bad Wrecker and Hunter, and they're just like, it's a suicide mission. You can't go get what you're thinking. Of course, Hunter and Wrecker, they're just desperate. They're just like, no, we need to go after this. There's one cadet that does take them along, that follows and says, hey, I'll show you. The other two are like, no, we're not going. But they go, well, the one boy cadet and Hunter and Wrecker go on this mission to go interact with more Slithervines. The other two cadets, Mox and Stack, want to get off this planet. So they're like, hey, let's go check out their ship. They they have conversations about, hey, like, these, they think it's admirable what Wrecker and Hunter are doing because they're showing loyalty, which unfortunately they weren't able to get that.
Right.
That wasn't their experience.
So sad, man. Because it goes back to earlier and they're like, yeah, the other clones left us to die. So
yeah, so it's really sad. I mean, I would, you lose trust in, like, they were supposed to be your brothers and look after you, and that's kind of like the whole code of, like, the clones. But so they got the crappy end of the stick, unfortunately.
yeah.
But Mox and Stack, they break into the Marauder. They're loving the ship. And then the other cadet who's with Wrecker and Hunter calls for help because, again, they're in a jungle, not hitting,
Yeah.
Slithervine creatures are just getting nasty.
When they're fighting some of the Slithervines before they get to the control panel, they I think Hunter shoots one of them and it kind of like shrivels up, but then like hops up on like limbs and crawls away like the monster from The Thing. Like, ew.
I did not like that. It was the most disgusting thing. I couldn't.
I was like, ew, no.
I don't like that. I don't like anything like that. I don't like anything that regrows.
And it's like, you're not a plant at this point. Like, what are you?
Yeah, no, it's just
like an
alien.
Don't like it.
It's just, I just get the creeps of any spider-like thing that just grows. It's like this thing
gave
can't
me
die.
the heaves.
Yeah, I can't handle it. The two cadets are just awesome. They go and they listen, but they go and save Wrecker and Hunter, the other cadet in the Marauder. And the monster shows itself and its vines. It's wrapping around the Marauder. It's a big old nasty thing. And the Bash and the cadets, they work together and they drop explosives into the mouth to free them. And what's really cool is that you just get the hint, like the cadets, they have it in them. They probably trained for this, and they're over there working a mission, and they're just happy that they were able to save the rest of them. And it's just really sad. They were just really hopeful because they thought they were going to have a different life, and it did not pan out that way, unfortunately. And man, when we talk about clones, we're obviously it's just like a lost generation of veterans that are just not seen anymore, and that's just really sad. But man, these little cadets are just like, I don't know. But the bright side is that they can kind of like adjust and find a new path. And I think that's kind of like what the paths unknown is, kind of like what I was hinting at.
And apparently they're going to Pabu.
I know they're going to go to Pabu, and Pabu is that's not a bad place to be at.
No,
there's like sushi there.
Yeah,
so you're chilling.
At the end of the episode, There were a couple things that struck me as like, why was this way? They're like back on the Marauder, and Hunter's brooding per usual, and he's like watching the cadets with Wrecker. He's sitting less than 10 feet away from them, and they're being very animated and having this conversation, and it's like silent. And I was just kind of like, what? Why can't, what's happening? And then Hunter gets up and walks over to them, and one of the cadets, you can see he's literally like talking, he's like motioning with his hands, and he's like talking to all of them, and you can see his mouth moving, no sound is coming out, but then you just hear Wrecker like laugh in response to what he's saying. But I'm just kind of like, what happened there?
I had to go rewatch that.
I literally like,
was it like, you think like an error or something?
Yeah, and so I was just like, I need to rewind. And then I like rewound, and I was like, he's sitting like less than 10 feet from them.
No sound.
There's
no
like
laughs.
Right. There's like ship sounds happening. So it's not like he was just like in his head. So it's like very silent. It's just like, no, you could still hear the sounds going on around him that were not voices. And then like he gets up and walks toward them. The kid's mouth is moving. He's making hand motions. No sound is coming out except for when Wrecker laughs at whatever he was supposedly saying. I'm just kind of like, what happened here?
What the hell happened here? Oh my gosh. I got to go rewatch it. I probably like just did not catch that.
Yeah, because I was watching it again while I was at work, and I was like, wait. I just thought it was so funny. Whether if it was like an error or if it was intentional, I just thought it was just so funny to me. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Dude, that's so funny. I actually got to rewatch it because now I'm like so like invested. Yeah. It's like, what the hell happened?
Because I was like, was his mouth move? Was he supposed to be talking there? I was like, yes, he was. I don't know what happened, but okay.
Oh my gosh. We got to get that. Now I want to know what that kid was saying.
Yeah, exactly. I need to know what was making Wrecker laugh. I need to know. Tell us, Lucasfilm, please. Lucasfilm Animation. Listen, you know what? This is just another pitch for us to write a story for them, you know?
I know exactly what he was saying.
Here we go, Lucasfilm. Here's your material. Go ahead.
It's saying... It's all the lines Daniel Logan said in Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones.
Stop it right now.
He said,
Dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dead.
Don't we see
it? And he goes, Yep.
Yep.
And then also, when him and Wrecker were laughing, cue in, which is kind of like Wrecker's laugh. Oh my gosh.
Someone please make an edit. I need someone please make an edit and just put some Daniel Logan voice lines in. I'm begging you. If you don't, I'll do it myself.
Daniel Logan does make his return as one of the cadets in this episode, which is really cool. Awesome. Really awesome. Daniel Logan, shout out. Daniel Logan, we love you on this podcast. You know that.
So true. So true.
Yeah, so pretty cool episode in the middle of the after the Omega and the Crosshair check-in. We got we checked in with Hunter and Wrecker, and hey, I kind of feel I feel their anxiety. They're going nuts. They got to go find Omega, and it's just for them
so
to
weird seeing just two.
It is. It's weird. So it was really so when they interacted with some cadets, I just thought, okay, that's really cool, and that they were able to kind of intervene and help them. Just them just helping each other like always. But also just I don't know, I think just making a difference in these little cadets' lives, because I'm telling you, when I saw these cadets, I just got really sad. This season's making me really sad.
And in a way, they were doing what Echo and Rex set out to do was, hey, listen, we need to help more clones.
Yeah, I know.
We could be making a difference. And they didn't intentionally run into these kids, but they did make a difference by being like, okay, we're taking you off this hell planet and you're going to go to a nice little island. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like, also like just showing them like, hey, like not all of our brothers were assholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's there's just like a little hope for them
Mhm.
there. So, ah, yeah, episode
I
2.
love it.
Yeah, just a really, yeah, I'm just really sad on these episodes.
Mhm.
Uh, all right, so the third episode.
Here we go.
Here we go. Shadows of Tantus, and somehow Palpatine returns in this one.
Ugh,
Um,
this
so
guy.
we head back to Tantus, Shadows of Tantus, and these the way these 3 episodes are shown, it's kind of like the Omega Crosshair. They're kind of like the outer bookends of, you know, the bookends, and then in the middle you have, you know, the Wrecker and Hunter. But it was kind of
Mhm.
cool to kind of jump back into what was going on here, because I would have been very antsy to get back to
Mhm.
Omega and Crosshair situation is a serious situation that we
Yeah.
desperately needed to get back to. So you know, I'm glad we checked in ASAP. So Shadows of Tantus. Yeah, so Omega starting her day with Emery and yeah, and Crosshair under this new soldier CX1, I think. Um, yeah, so Omega notices that there are more troopers around, which is kind of interesting. It's like, what's going on here? It's just not a normal
Mhm.
work day at the office. Something's a
No.
little bit different. Because there's a special guest coming, and yes, insert Poe Dameron saying somehow
Somehow
Palpatine returned.
Palpatine's burned. Yeah.
Yes. A
Ugh.
special guest is arriving on Mount Tantus, and it's a freaking emperor, which is pretty freaking scary to think about. Yes, it's Emperor Palpatine and all his scariness that comes with it, the music. Yeah, I told you my sister went with me to watch the, you know, you saw the episodes with me, and she turned and she was like, oh, like she got like excited
Yeah.
because it's like the Emperor, the theme. He's just scary, and it's just like the
Oh, the
voice, and it's just
music
like,
was
oh
so
my
good.
gosh,
God,
honestly, it's so
so
freaking good.
good.
He's scary in animation. I don't like
Yes.
he's
Mhm.
scarier in animation, I think, than in like person,
I agree
honestly.
because, like, just, like, the hood and just, like, the bottom like, I know it's like that in live action too, but there's just something about the animation that makes it look so much more sinister.
And he's like a freshly emperor too. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's like
Freshly zapped.
a fresh zapped emperor.
Just
He's
put
like,
him through the microwave, you know?
yeah. You know, just if you walk near him, there's like sparks still. Like that's
Yeah.
just
There's still radiation pouring off of
yeah.
him.
Yeah. Like, whoa, he just zapped me.
Whoa! This
Whoa,
guy
what's
is
happening? Ah.
God.
That your electricity, or are you just happy to see me?
Stop.
Um, we're so lame. We're not good with jokes.
I
Lucasfilm,
love
do
this.
not call us.
No, Lucasfilm, don't listen to her. Call us.
um,
We'll be your
yeah,
court jesters.
so Palpatine shows up to Mount Tantus, and you got Hemlock over here foaming at the mouth, like just like a
God, he's so
like
creepy. Oh my
he
god, I
creeps
hate
me
him.
out, dude. Like honestly, like creeps me out. Like there's there's something at first when I thought of Dr. Hemlock, you reminded me of um I'm drawing a blank of this name, and it's real if Rogue One. What's the guy in Rogue
Oh,
One?
Director Krennic?
Krennic. And I at first I got
Mhm.
Krennic vibes, but after I'm like, no, this is like
No.
he's like
Krennic was like a bumbling idiot. This
yeah,
guy's
yeah,
just
yeah. At
fucking
first, that's
weird.
when I thought of him, like, I'm like, oh, he's
Yeah.
kind of just like, you know, but oh, he's just
He's
uh
so he's just very unnerving. Like,
yeah,
it's been a long time since a Star Wars character has made me feel this uncomfortable.
yeah, Hemlock. I hope something bad happens to him.
And I
I
wrote in
say
my
that.
notes, I said, "Hemlock's eventual death, I just know it's going to be so satisfying.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's so
I'm gonna
satisfying.
love
Like that,
every minute of it."
like the one when yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I'm gonna I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm like I'm bloodlust right now. Like I'm just
Yeah,
like yeah.
yeah,
So
I
Hemlock
wrote
is freaking foaming at the mouth.
yeah,
because the emperor came to visit him, and
So fucking weird.
and I love Palpatine because Palpatine knows how to just like dangle something you want, just like manipulate and just like,
Yeah.
just really like, I can't wait to see all the progress you've done, such great work, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so they go to so they go check in that little room thing there. And yeah, so Omega
What's up,
sneaks
M.
into
Clown?
yeah, so
Yeah.
so they go, and then they talk about Project Necromancer, which when's the last time we heard of that? That's in the Mandalorian. We got a little hint of
Mhm.
that. That's what Hux's dad, he was kind of, taking on. So
Yeah.
this is the beginning of Project. I don't know if it's the beginning. It's probably been going on for a while. Who knows? I don't know.
Mhm.
But Project Necromancer was first mentioned in The Mandalorian. And obviously we're heading into the Rise of Skywalker at this point. It's like
Yeah.
he's trying to get himself cloned.
Everything points to the sequels. Everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
As it should.
hello.
That's the
As
timeline.
That is the timeline. It's like canon, things
Yeah.
work like that.
Which it
I don't think
confuses me why
things
people
do
are
not
like,
get erased.
yeah, it confuses me as to why people are like annoyed at that. It's just like everything is a straight line. We're going in a straight line. Why are you surprised that things are going in the straight line?
Mhm. Yeah. Omega, Nala Se, is being taken also to go to this whole like big old work event,
Yeah.
and
Work event.
she's not able to. Yeah, it's like this it's like when the big district manager comes visits your job
It's
or
like
your
when it's someone's birthday in the office.
yeah, and it's like, oh crap, I gotta go over
Everyone
here. And it's
gather.
like, yeah, everyone
Everyone
gather.
gather.
Yeah, come on, it's happening. We gotta go this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it's like, the big boss is coming in town. We gotta go show him around. So we gotta
Yeah.
go, everyone on your
Everyone
best
pretend
behavior.
like you're working.
Yeah, everyone. So poor Nala Se, who is trying to just do her work and just like protect Omega, cannot go and like get rid of this blood sample that she gave. So Nala Se is taken into Palpatine's vault thing. And yeah, and Emery is in charge of, checking the blood samples and doing the little blood sample things. But Nala says like, yo, Omega, you need to like escape now. Like
The way they animated Nala Se's panic and how it kept switching frames to what was being focused on was excellent.
I swear, Nala Se, like I am
I'd
so
die
worried.
for her. In a heartbeat.
Such nothing better not happen to Nala Se. I'm just telling you right now.
I have bad news for you, bestie.
Something's gonna happen to her.
I have a feeling.
Yeah, Nala Se. So Nala Se,
yeah,
it tells Omega, you need to escape. Here's my data pad. Get the hell out of here. Omega does a thing. She escapes. First, she's gonna go to Crosshair. Goes to Crosshair. Escapes. There's this cool. I mean, I'm stressed the entire time.
That escape was.
The escape was insane. When I'm telling you, when Crosshair gets out, there's just cheers that erupted. Everybody was just like, oh my God. It was just like, you're just like so hyped. You're just like, let's fucking go. That's the whole time. You're just like, oh my gosh. The way it went from 0 to 100, the Emperor is like in the building. It's just like, what is going on? I'm stressed out. Also, the blood vitals things are becoming a clock. And it's like, they're making that into like a clock. And it's like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen when Omega's blood is there? It's just like crazy. It's suspenseful.
This episode was so like
stressed. No, I'm stressed out. But my gosh, when the freaking mouse droid starts following her in the elevator and she kicks that thing, it was so. Thank God. Funny. I've been waiting as the 20 plus years of me being a Star Wars fan. Finally, someone kicked the mouse droid. Y'all wanted to do it. finally someone did it. Omega did it. Omega kicked the mouse droid. That was just like all I needed. I'm
I
like,
loved that
thank God.
so much. When she just like the doors are closing and she sees, oh, it's gonna get in, and she's just like,
Did she when
fuck
she
off.
kicks it? The
She's
way
like,
she
"Get the
kicks it,
fuck outta
it was
here."
like, dude, as a Star Wars fan, I'm telling you, you've all wanted to kick the mouse droid. Someone finally kicked that thing.
I kind of wish she punted it.
Same here.
Listen, I don't want anyone to be like, how could you say that? There's yes, mouse droids are so cute. However,
They're working for the Empire. Are they really
Yes.
that cute?
like, please be serious for like 1 second. They're so
It-
cute. They can be reprogrammed. That one was not reprogrammed. Therefore, the kicking was justified. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're hello. We're
It was
yes.
also funny. So of course it's
It was
justified.
hilarious. It was probably the one of the funniest things. I'm just like, yes, finally someone kicked it. I did not realize how much I wanted that thing to be kicked until Omega kicked it. I was like, yes, we've needed this to happen. This needed to
Oh.
happen. So it was really funny. So after Omega punts the freaking mouse droid, she tells Crosshair, we gotta get the hell out of here. Crosshair's like, okay, let's go. Emery comes in, and Crosshair's like, Emery's like, come on, Omega, stop doing this. Omega's like, no, you're one of us, Dr. Carr, come with us. Then
Really quick,
Crosshair does something interesting. He hits stun.
Yeah,
I like.
which we'll get into in a little bit. That's the only time he uses stun in the episode.
He did stun.
Because we'll get to it. There's a point where you see him switch it off a stun.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Yes. I just want to touch back really quick on
Let's go.
the escape when she's just like, distract them. And he's like, and then he's like taunting them. And then he's like, give me your shit. And they're like, no, what are you going to do about it? And he goes, you'll see. And as the immediate door open after you'll see, and he just,
Yeah, the best.
Oh.
The best.
When I tell
best.
the gasp that I gusped, let me tell you,
So good.
that was so iconic.
So good.
I cheered out loud in my office when I watched it.
Everything about this escape was so good. The action,
So good.
everything. You just forget just how like badass Crosshair is.
Yes.
But yeah, it's good. So they escape. They get the hell out of there. At
Mhm.
first, I thought Omega was about to steal the Emperor's ship. I thought that's what they were heading for a second.
That's what she wanted to do, and he was like, "No, there's too many people. What?"
That was wild. I'm like, Omega,
He was like, "Are you insane?"
Omega, I'm weak. Please don't. But yeah, so that's going on. There's a great escape. And then because Hemlock is so like distracted, by Palpatine complimenting on his amazing work, and the nasty, gross, nasty Hemlock wants a promotion so bad, and Palpatine's like dangling like, do not choke on your aspirations, like, telling them to chill the hell out.
Oh, and when he said, he was just like, you'll have like everything the Empire has at your fingertips, basically. And the zoom in on his facial expression.
I know he did a creepy look. He's doing a lot of creepy looks, and it's really uncomfy. I don't like. It's so sleazy and gross. I don't like him.
Oh, I need a compilation of just us being like, ew, about him.
He's gross. I just ick.
Ew.
Ick.
I know I keep saying he's just so like he makes my skin crawl. I haven't felt this way about a Star Wars villain in ages.
And his haircut is even worse.
Oh my!
Everything.
Why he's?
I don't like it.
He reminds me of like a very specific kind of person.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
and I can't. I cannot do it.
There's
a
specific. I totally understand what you mean.
Yeah,
and I can't explain it, but I know what you mean.
Yes. Yeah. The knowers know.
You know what we're talking about. So he finds out that they escaped, and he sends the hounds to go kill Omega and Crosshair. he also confronts Nala Say and be like, "Oh, how convenient, your little friend escapes." And she's like, "Well, bitch, I've been with you the entire time.
Yeah,
Had
she's like,
nothing
"What
to
are
do
you
with it.
talking about?"
Yeah, I've been next to you the entire time. I would not, I would never do this, especially when our
Mhm.
boss is coming to work. Absolutely not."
Yeah.
Nala Say, just praying for you, girl.
Yeah. She's like, "On Jim's birthday, I would never."
Never. Oh my gosh. Omega and Crosshair escape the dam. They go to that jungle, and that freaking beast is finally revealed. And what in the
What is
freaking
that?
must dude, that thing was on its two legs.
Yeah, what are you?
Freaking looks like it freaking benches every day of its life. The thing was insanely muscular looking for a beast. The beginning, I thought maybe the Zillow beast, but I was like, what in the Arnold
It's
Schwarzenegger
like
is going on here?
Demon Tony the
What in
Tiger.
the
My
yeah, I was
god.
no, seriously, like, it was, like, just really muscular, right? Or am I
Yeah, it was
imagining that?
like beefy, but for
Yeah,
why?
I don't know why. Don't know why. Thankfully, the freaking hounds that were there to scent them distracted that thing, and who knows what's
I
going on.
love that the relationship that Omega made with the hounds by taking care of them all the time. They released the hounds to go get Omega and Crosshair, but the hounds were like, fuck y'all, actually. We're gonna get this Tony the Tiger looking
Mhm.
whatever you are.
Yeah,
They
whatever that
completely
thing was.
they're like Omega and Crosshair who?
Yeah. Yeah, so they go and escape because they're trying to look for this crash shuttle to power it up. But of course, when they get there, the comms are dead. They can't go. Imperial patrols are like full force heading out. Omega is absolutely devastated because it's like, oh my gosh, I led us here. I failed. And Crosshair is like, hell no, you got us this far, we're not giving up.
Ugh.
And brought me to tears. Brought me
Yeah.
to tears.
Ugh.
They attack the stormtroopers and freaking Batcher.
Oh,
Batcher returns in a
our
timely
queen.
manner. A queen, a loyal pup. The loyal pup comes and saves her friend, her
Mhm.
human, her person.
Her bestie.
Batcher comes back and says, "Yo, not today." So Batcher
Mhm.
comes, jumps, and it's this big old battle. They get on the ship. Um, you know, it's actually on the storm. Is it on the stormtrooper ship that they sent out?
Yes.
Yes, they're able to get on that. It was this big old so
That
action
entire
ensues.
sequence
Sequence is insane.
was
I
so
can't really explain it, but it's a lot
Omega
goes on.
was badass. Like, both of them were obviously,
Omega.
but Omega,
No,
like, popped off.
no.
We have
I've
never seen her
never
like that before.
I've never been so proud of Omega like I was
Mhm.
in this episode. I said, "Wow, she is coming into her own. She's growing up. She is like
Yeah.
she's going for it." And
Like,
so honestly, this is why like when people are like, "Oh, these are just filler episodes." It's like, "Dude, like are you kidding me? We're getting such
no.
a payoff all this time. All this time
Yes.
getting a payoff with these characters." And like you said, Omega popped off, dude, and I was just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, hell yeah." It felt earned. It felt like, "Yeah, let's go."
Yeah.
This
People that
is
complain
not season 1
Yeah, people
Omega.
that complain about filler episodes have no idea how the smallest things contribute to a character's arc. Like, just because you're not seeing that doesn't mean that things aren't happening. And all of this led up to that moment. Every time that the other Bad Batchers were drilling into her, like, you need to do this, this, and this. And when she would complain about, oh, we keep doing this, you're like, yeah, you have to keep doing this until you know. Which even before that plan enacted, when Crosshair was like, do you know about this plan? And she's like, yeah, Tech had me memorize all of them. And he was like, oh, of course he did. And it's just like, first of all, that moment, oh.
Yeah.
But I was just like, see, all of this led up to this moment when they do a little switcheroo in position and Crosshair goes up the elevator. Omega gets down on a knee and starts oh my god.
Yeah. So
We have
good.
never seen her like that.
Never.
She's
I've
popped off with
never.
her little bow, but she was
No.
with this blaster, she was going
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. Like totally just like and he just felt so like it's because she spent so many time with
Mhm.
Crosshair's brothers that almost
Mhm.
like it was just such like a seamless flow of
Yes.
like they just had like this what's the word I'm looking for? They just had this like this chemistry. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's the right word when they're
Yeah.
fighting,
Like a
but it's like
natural
this a natural,
teamwork. Mhm.
natural teamwork. It's just like, well, duh, it makes sense. Like she's one of them.
Very
Um,
coordinated.
just so
Mhm.
good, so freaking good. And hell yeah, they get on that thing. Um, and
Mhm.
then meanwhile, Omega's blood is reading, and there's some sort of notification that she's important. And of course, Emery goes to Hemlock and says, you need to stop chasing them. We need her alive." And yeah, and then thankfully, Crosshair, Omega, and Batcher they escape together, and
Mhm.
they jump into hyperspace. They don't know where they're going, but Hemlock is just has his answer. He
A
says it's
minor
okay.
setback.
All the resources of the Empire is going to be going towards the fighting Omega.
And the face
Um,
he made, and it zoomed. Ew.
yeah, they need Omega alive. So, but they're off. And I thought this whole season was going to be like trying to break them out. And this is third episode, and they're
I'm
out
so
already.
glad. I'm
They're
so
out
glad.
already. Yeah, because that just would have been too like,
It would have been disappointing if that was the entire season, you know? To me
yeah,
at least, because I would have been like, "Okay, we're not going anywhere."
yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, I mean, what a crazy episode too. I mean,
This was my favorite episode, I will say.
this is a great episode, and
Mhm.
I go back to 1 and 3, but I
Mhm.
really for the reasons why I explained, I really enjoyed 3, and I always get emotional thinking about the first one.
Yeah.
But this was a good episode. This was like, oh my gosh, this was good. It
Yeah, I
just the
think it had
suspense, the pacing, everything.
the action with
The
the
action
balance
was
of
just
how
great.
emotional things were
Yes.
was, like, really nice for me personally.
Yeah, really good. Really good
Mhm.
episode. Just a strong start to the Bad Batch.
Mhm.
A really strong start to the Bad Batch. And I'm really excited for where the season's going. Mike, I don't think can you hear my cat?
Yeah, but, like, it's
She's
cute.
just
She wants attention.
she wants attention for sure. Um yeah, so yeah, I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited for definitely sorry fly friends, you're just gonna hear a cat just
It's not, like, loud. It's not, like, loud or anything.
yeah, she's just that's good because it's loud over here for me.
Oh.
My baby, she's the cutest little thing. She just wants me to go hang
Mhm.
out with her. Um, but yeah, so I'm excited for what's to come.
Mhm.
Um, I just love the idea of Omega and Crosshair and Batcher all together.
Mhm.
Um, I again, I can't really. I mean, I don't know what I think. I don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe they'll be reunited with Wrecker and Hunter sooner than later.
I think while since they broke out so soon, I feel like there's at least going to be
Mhm.
1 or 2 episodes of them
Just them
just
two.
missing each other,
Yeah. Yeah,
because now
because
they're trying to get information to go to this new planet, probably the one that they just escaped from. I feel like they're just gonna keep missing each other until they're reunited.
Yeah. And then, I again, we're gonna get more Omega and Crosshair.
Mhm. I'm
That
excited.
interaction, that's gonna be really good.
Mhm.
I'm really excited about that. But I as far as the story with the cloning and what makes Omega so special is gonna be also really interesting to dive in.
Mhm.
Um And that's gonna be yeah, so I'm again, I as much as I don't like these characters, these villains, I'm kinda, like,
Oh,
interested
yeah.
in what's gonna be going on and, with Emery, with Nala Se, with, Hemlock too,
Ugh.
yeah, so that's gonna be really, really interesting. Do you think we're gonna see more Palpatine this season?
Yes.
Probably be checking in.
Yeah. I Can I make an insane prediction?
Please.
It's a prediction I think I've expressed with you, if not all of our fly friends before, but I've had something added onto it that kind of like enforces my prediction. My prediction is Tech is Bucky Barnes. He's alive.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't like that idea because that means his sacrifice was for nothing, but technically it was not for nothing because we've already seen how it's affected people and it's shifted things.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the thing that has kind of enforced my theory is that we have seen the things that Hemlock will do to manipulate to get what he wants.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's going to come a point where being like, listen, I've got your little friend, so you can either do what I want or I can kill him for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like if Tech is alive and he is Bucky Barnes, he is going to use Tech to get to them.
Oh man.
Which would be very painful, but I do like that. It would be very nice.
I wouldn't be mad if Tech is alive. I think Tech is an amazing character. I think Tech deserves a happy ending with
his girlfriend. Mm-hmm.
I agree. I hope they all get happy endings. I think they all deserve to live happy lives with each other. I'm hoping for, I'm just going to always remain hopeful. I'm like Omega. I am confined in my dreaded thoughts that I feel may happen, but I'm still hopeful.
Yeah.
That everyone will be okay.
Maybe Pabu will become the official
clone
sanctuary.
I hope so.
All the clones will go to Pabu.
I hope that's the case because I think these clones, they deserve some peace.
Mm-hmm.
And my gosh, if anything happens to Omega, Thatcher, Crosshair, Wrecker, Hunter, Echo, I'm done.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. I'm nervous but excited. These first 3 episodes were incredibly strong.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying what we've gotten in the past wasn't strong, but
it was
just the comparison. It was just like, whoa.
Yeah, it's the final season. It's
like we're in.
Hey, we're getting into
we're back.
We're getting in. We're so back. God damn it, we're so back. It's gonna be really fun to find more connecting the Star Wars dots of it all, and finding a little bit more about Project Necromancer, why Omega's important, what really happens, to get more into the storyline of phasing out all these clones. It's gonna be really interesting to see where we go. And we have 12 more episodes, I think.
Really?
I believe so. I think it's 15 episodes this season.
Oh, wow.
I could be wrong. Fly friends, you can correct me. I think it's 15 episodes this season, and we already had 3, so 12 more.
I'm stoked.
I think. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right.
I hope so. I'm tired of you know how I feel about short seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really stoked. I'm loving where this is going so far.
Same here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
crazy.
Well, I think that's kind of does it for our discussion.
Our premiere breakdown
of the Bad Batch first 3 episodes. I can't wait to do this with you next week. Yeah, what did you guys think? Let us know. I'm excited for next week already. I am so hyped for it. I cannot wait.
Yeah, we will be doing weekly episode discussions, guys. So make sure you're hanging around. We'll be here.
Tune in. We'll be here. We'll be talking with each and every one of you. But yeah, let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, join us on Discord and have a conversation with everyone about it. That would be really fun.
Yeah. Riley, this was fun.
This was very fun. I'm so glad for Star Wars to be back. We are so back.
So back.
And I love to talk to you, of course, as always. And then I really want to hear what everyone has to say about this. So join our Discord, comment on the YouTube video, comment on Instagram, send us some DMs. Let us know. I'm very excited to hear what everyone thinks because these 3 episodes were awesome. They were quite something.
Quite something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fly friends, just remember to, if you guys follow us on all the socials, we're on, Riley's gonna say Twitter, but we're on Twitter, and Instagram. So give us a follow. Riley, where can everyone follow you individually? Or on
You
your
can,
individual one?
yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Riley Antoinette. You can find me on Twitter at Riley Antoine. I will never call it. No, Elon, you did not get that from me. What about you,
Follow
Silver?
me
Where can
on
they find
Star
you?
Wars Thrifting on Twitter and Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're on the Star Wars Thrifting YouTube channel. So that's where you're catching all these episodes.
Mhm.
Check us out on all the podcasting platforms. Yeah, so we'll see you guys next week. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I'm
Bye,
stoked.
y'all.
Bye.
Repeal, get us out of here. Bye.